And hello, everyone out there in the DC universe. Welcome to another episode of Straight Outta Gotham, episode 163. We are a fandom pop culture podcast and a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by batman-on-film.com. If you want to check out all the other great shows associated with our network, please head on over to BOF, clicking that podcast drop down and seeing what everyone has to offer. I'm your host from the other side of the Hudson River. I'm Peter R. Verite. We're recording on November 23rd. That's for you, Donnie Baseball. 2024. And as always, I have a great show for you today. But before I get into the good stuff, I'd like to remind you, all of our faithful listeners, if you take time to review this show on Apple Podcasts, we read your review on air. You just won our monthly contest. So please be in it to win it. Now, let me introduce you to my partner in crime, the man who is applying for all the jobs within the New York Jets organization. Ladies and gentlemen, the king of Long Island, the champion of man, Eric Holzman.
Yeah, I honestly think I could do a better job. So I'm going to apply for every job.
You've been playing franchise mode in Madden for how many years now? You're more than qualified.
Since it came out. Since the very first one.
30 years of Madden expertise, not one game Genie used.
Seriously, man. Oh, it's like I say this a lot, and as a Yankee fan, I'm very happy that that's the one team I have that's won in life, because otherwise I'd be crazy. I should be committed for rooting for the sports teams I root for.
I think honestly, within Jets history, you cannot possibly do worse than Rich Kotite, so you're already qualified. Just say, like, I know for a fact Eric can do a better job than Kotite. I've heard about that year so often. I believe Eric can just do it.
I mean,
a crack
played the game.
Your coaching staff would be Wado. It would be Bill. You could probably have Lauer in there. You could probably have Rick as the special teams instructor. You would do a better job than Kotite did in, was it 95 or 96?
I think it was 95.
95, yeah. The legendary Rich Kotite. 95. One of two seasons as the Jets head coach. If you don't know about it, read about it. It's still talked about to this day. I think they actually talk about that more than they talk about the sack exchange. On the radio, at least.
Well, yeah, I mean...
misery travels a lot farther.
I think only the Lions went 0-16. I don't remember if there was another franchise.
I thought there was another team that did it recently. So I think there were two teams that done it. But I remember when the Lions first did it, I was rooting for them to lose. Sorry, Adam Snow. Because it was historic. Like, I wanted to see history.
Right. I get that angle for sure.
I was definitely rooting for that. But I believe it's happened twice.
Man. And I remember the game the Jets won that year. They beat the Cardinals. And... that they won the 1-15.
Were they Phoenix or Arizona then? Or were they still St. Louis?
No. I think it was Phoenix.
Okay.
I don't even remember, but I do remember it was the Cardinals. And I remember Tom Tupa, who wound up becoming their punter, was their quarterback that game.
No way. Tom Tupa was the quarterback?
Yes, he played quarterback he had started his career as a quarterback. Then he became a punter. And then
I've never heard of a quarterback convert to a punter in his career.
Wow. Yeah, and he was the quarterback, I believe, of who won that game. Neil O'Donnell didn't finish the game.
And Neil O'Donnell's your quarterback?
Yes. So, yeah, I do remember that.
Which is crazy because he did make a Super Bowl.
Yes, and he played a terrible game. He made Larry Brown all that money. He threw him two perfect passes. Who he took back.
I was actually thinking about that Super Bowl the other day because I was thinking about Cordell Stewart, and he eventually went from wide out to quarterback in that game. And then I thought that was the coolest thing. Right? Yeah. And then as I was very young because that was the '94 Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. And I remember that as a kid, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I was like, wait a second, he can play more than one position?
Yeah.
So, like, people have been doing it before Ohtani, so screw that gambling addict.
He was the first. He was the first Slash. He was the first guy who did that. Who played running back, played quarterback, played wide receiver.
And he's got a crazy like Hail Mary, right, for Colorado. He was like the first person to put Colorado on the map.
Yes, he did.
So suck on that, Dion.
He was a really good player. Like I liked him in college and then in the NFL. He was a very good player. So you just brought up Shohei Ohtani. Congratulations to Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge for being unanimous MVPs. not something we see that often anymore. So that was pretty cool. But the the question is still going to be going on, and it's still a question for Mets fans. Mets fans keep saying that Lindor should have won. I'm sure there's some Blue Jays fans that not Blue Jays. Who does Whit play again?
I don't know. I don't know where you're going.
Yeah, well, whatever. But honestly, Aaron Judge's season, in my opinion, the best season I've ever seen from a player in my lifetime. So he deserved it. And I mean, you can't. Otani's arguably the best player in the sport because of his pitching prowess. So he didn't pitch this year, though. So I don't know. But did you have any problems with both of them winning?
I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care about these awards. Okay. It makes no difference. The Yankees lost the World Series. That's all that matters, and I'm still recovering. So
that's true.
About these MVPs.
That is true. They are individual awards. But for baseball, I feel like because baseball is always been such a stats-driven sport, I feel like it's a little bit different. So, but anyway, congrats to both. And let's see if you can do it again.
There we go. Stephen A. Holzman, everyone.
Huh?
Stephen A. Holzman.
Oh boy, don't compare me to that guy, please.
He's really tall in person.
Is he?
He's huge. I could not. He's literally like NBA height.
Oh wow.
There was I forget what it was. I think it was 2 UFCs ago. He had to use like a private bathroom, and we crossed paths. And I had to look up at him. I was surprised at how tall he was. He's got to be like at least 6'7", 6'8". No
way,
dude. He made me feel short. Like I'm telling you, he's like NBA player. I've stood around NBA players a lot, and they all feel like redwoods. You know, always like it's like is everyone 7 feet? Like no, he's 6'8". I'm like that's close enough. So.
Well, it's also that we are recording on, like you said, November 23rd. So this is the week before Thanksgiving. So quick question, Pete, what's the menu like this year? You just
usually it's turkey and stuffing, and there's always more than one kind of stuffing. My aunt makes a regular stuffing, and she does like this Pennsylvania Dutch stuffing, which is different. Now they say I love turkey necks, so I eat a lot of turkey necks. I eat a couple of turkey necks.
They say at almost every holiday for an Italian family that they have pasta. Will you have a pasta dish at Thanksgiving?
We do. I think we have manigot.
Okay. All right.
I don't really eat it because like I eat that stuff all year round, so it's not really my thing. Like I said, I'm a big turkey neck guy. So some turkey neck gravy, mashed potatoes. I'm set, to be honest with you. It doesn't take much. A little cranberry, get a little sugar in there, but yeah, like it doesn't take my plate on Thanksgiving is pretty standard.
Yeah, mine too. I
do you like turkey schnitzel?
You know what? I've wanted to try to put some German twists on some Thanksgivings, but I haven't done it yet. I am hosting brunch. It's kind of a breakfast, but brunch this year. So, and I'm making
pre or post Thanksgiving.
Huh?
Pre or post Thanksgiving?
On Thanksgiving morning. So
wow, that's a crazy thing to do because it's like who wants to eat that food? No offense, but it's like like you got the meal coming. Like why am I going to pregame?
Yeah. So, but I'm taking my first stab at making sausage gravy, Southern style sausage gravy.
Oh, sounds great! I love that stuff.
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing that.
How do you stand on fried turkey? I personally don't even. I'd rather have the traditional oven roasted turkey myself.
Yeah, I prefer that as well. I actually probably like 8 or 9 years ago, I did a trash can turkey.
Like it was brand new, right?
Yeah, you buy a yes, you buy a steel trash can.
I'm not letting you wash that thing, man. I'm still not eating it.
You put a wooden stake in the ground. You prop the turkey up on it. You put the can over it. Put the charcoal all around the.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and the smoky flavor. Was really really good. So I did enjoy
smoked
that.
Turkeys. Smoked turkeys are good.
So I did enjoy doing that when I did that one year. I've only had fried turkey once, and my brother-in-law did it, I liked it. I mean,
We
obviously,
did it
it's
like
still
3-4
fine,
years in a row. It was okay.
but
I just didn't get all the hype around it.
yeah, I agree with that. I don't think it's as good as people say, or like great. Like people need to experience it. I did this year. We're gonna have 2 turkeys because I got the Cajun turkey from Popeyes. So
Oh, they
I'm gonna
seasoned
be
it and everything?
yeah, they do
That's
it
awesome.
do it up. Yeah, so we're gonna be making that this year as well as a traditional one. So
You know what I
we'll see
want to
how it
do?
goes.
McDonald's is actually selling the McRib sauce by the gallon for the holiday season. I think it's like $20 a bottle.
Hmm.
I'm thinking of honestly barbecuing something and using that McRib sauce,
Well,
whether it's chicken, turkey, whatever.
yes, I am not a fan of the McRib, but I cannot hate on the sauce. The
You know,
sauce
so I
is
might buy it, and it comes in that big pump bottle. So
all right.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think
give it a
that's a
shot.
gallon.
Let us
Yeah,
know. That would be
I'd get.
awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to smoke a turkey and put some McRib sauce on it.
Yeah, that would be good. You
I
don't trust
watched.
me. You
There
don't
was
want to.
something. I was watching something the other day, and because the McRib is back, and they were talking about how it was made and where they made the McRib. And I'm like, oh, so it was made. And it's like, yeah, well, it's a bunch of pork and it's basically scraps and fat and salt, and they mold it. I'm like, why are we doing this? There's no rib involved. It's ground pork, which is
It
fine, but
looks
it's.
like it.
I was like, when the fact that they were like, it's molded, I was like, oh man, you make it sound so bad. I haven't eaten a McRib in years, probably since maybe it was like 6-7 years, to be honest. My buddy Toby loves it. He makes fun of it all the time. I don't know if he actually eats them, but it's like an open gag we have. Like, dude, the McRib's back, you know, because it's
I know
always back.
it's become a national thing. Like now, whenever it's coming back, there's this huge promotion, and it's
Yeah, but I still don't eat it. But I'll go buy the sauce at the drive-through, definitely.
yeah, the sauce was good. And I'll
But
tell you this because as I've said before, I worked at McDonald's in high school. They take those McRib portions because that's what they're called. They're not even called patties; they're just called portions, and they sit in that thing all damn day. We were supposed to get rid of them and like throw them out after a certain time, but nobody does. So you might be eating day old
McRib.
McRib.
You would think that. I mean, it's a popular thing. I thought maybe it's just running out of stock, but no, apparently it's day old
it's
McRib.
be- yeah, it's become more popular now because of the obviously everything is because of social media and stuff. So it's become a more popular thing now. But back then, yeah, it wasn't that popular, and a lot of people didn't eat it. So, but all
It was
right,
weird.
well,
It was almost
let us
sounded like it was
know.
a government initiative. They were like, "All right, let's put like meat scientists to this, and let's make a pork byproduct that we could sell at fast food chains." It was like, what? It's like, okay, this is why we have
Yeah,
RFK.
or
This
an
is why
experiment
we have
wrong, right? An experiment got wrong, and McDonald's is like, this doesn't taste half bad.
It's not half bad. What if we slather it with sugar and sauce and pickles? America.
McDonald's pickles are fantastic. So that's the one thing. Yes, put pickles on their pickles on anything.
I imagine you could just put sauce, pickle, onion on that bun, and people would think it's McRib.
You might be right. I'm not even. Yes, that is a very strong possibility. So everyone out there, let us know what you're doing for Thanksgiving. Once I post this, you listen to the show. Let us know what you're doing for Thanksgiving. I'd
And
love
let
to
us know if
see.
you like the McRib.
Yeah, let us know if you like the McRib too, because that I do know that Ben from our Minnesota fan group, Ben does like it. He tweeted
You're
about it
big
this week.
on the Minnesota fan base. That might be your favorite group of fans out of our fan base. The old Wado
they
crew.
they're very engaging football fans. I'll put it that way.
There
So
you
if
go.
you're a fan of football and
And you guys
they're
share
very
Darnold.
yes. They are very, very passionate Vikings fans, and I love passionate fans of any team, just because the takes can be really crazy and go from wild to wild. So I love it.
I'd imagine the Vikings are very happy. Viking fans are happy right now because the Viking Slayer Daniel Jones got cut or released.
They should sign him just so that he can't sign with someone else.
There you go,
That's
because
what he should do.
he's the Viking Slayer.
Yes.
There's memes about him on Twitter or X.
Oh God, that's a whole other show. What's going on with the New York football teams? But we don't have. That's not what this show is for. So let's get into what this show is for. We've It's been a few weeks, but the Penguin has ended,
Hmm.
and there's been fallout, not fallout, but just kind of discussion about it, and obviously now the powers that be, Matt Reeves, Lauren LaFranc, they've done interviews. Colin Farrell speaking about what's going to happen with the character, what's going on post Penguin, how it connects to the Batman 2. So Pete, real quick, where we left off, where the Penguin leaves off, do you have any kind of feelings about where he might fit into the sequel?
I imagine his role is going to be very similar to what it was previously. He's going to be around. He's not really going to be the issue itself.
Mm-hmm.
I feel he's privy to a lot of information, being the proprietor of the Iceberg Lounge, as well as the head of the Gotham Mafia. So I imagine Penguin has a lot of information, and he can kind of use that information to bargain with Batman to maybe go after somebody who's a little bit more a threat to society than Penguin is, right? Like, Batman's probably got his eyes on Penguin as he did in the first movie, but now Penguin's got a lot more stake in it, so he's probably got a lot more riding on it. He's got to stay out of jail, I'd imagine. So that's kind of how I feel about it, because I kind of feel like Penguin's just kind of working in the background, intertwined in the story.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously what he was, kind of a secondary character in the first film. He wasn't who he has become now.
I mean, he had 5 scenes in the first movie, I believe. In the next movie, he's supposed to have 6. So
Yeah,
he's getting more screen time. And we just got 8 hours of him. So,
right. And it leads into it led into a question that they had asked Lauren LaFranc, if there's going to be a season 2. Now there have been, because this season was so well received. There's obviously they're saying that they're in talks with HBO now about possibly doing, or HBO wants them to do, a second
mhm.
season. How do you think that would play out, since we don't know what the Batman 2 is yet, right? We don't know what his role is going to be. We just speculate on what we think it could be. Um, what do you think? What kind of story do you think they could tell again after whatever happens in Batman 2? Like,
Here's my thing. I don't think it's going to be a Penguin season 2. I think it'll be like a Gotham season 2. Like, oh, this is what's happening, and this is the state of Gotham after this movie. I think something out of the movie will spawn off into the next show. And if LaFranc is in charge of that, that's great, because she gets the idea. She knows what she's supposed to do. She knows how the city works, right? She knows how Reeves works. So I imagine it would be a match made in heaven. I don't, because I don't know what you do with Penguin at this point. The whole season was Rise to Power. So unless you want to do the next one is about maintaining it, that's fine. But I think in order to kind of keep it fresh and prevent it from being stale, I think they do one of the other hundreds of TV shows they mentioned earlier on before Penguin. Remember, there was Catwoman, there was Arkham,
yeah,
there was GCPD, there was this, that, the other thing, and a few of those elements molded into Penguin, and some of them didn't get made at all. So I imagine that's where I think Reeves would go, because I don't think Reeves is one to repeat himself often. I feel like they told their Penguin story. I think something's going to spawn out of the second movie, and that's what we'll get in our prestige HBO Max show.
yeah, I agree. I think you're right. I think it's probably going to be some kind of an amalgam of things. Whatever show that you could go with next. We know that Reeves has talked about building out a universe of shows, so the
Sophie
possibilities
and
are endless.
Selena would be fantastic. I mean, the way they ended Penguin, if the movie teased that up and they just roll her right out the front door, into the next street, like, go for it.
Yeah.
That's all anyone was talking about when the season ended to begin with. So might as well give them what they want.
Yep. And apparently Zoe Kravitz is interested.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a very cool thing. What did you think about that? What did you think about how they ended with the Sophia part of the story, where I think many of us thought she was probably going to get killed, and she doesn't.
I liked it a lot because of how much she hates Arkham, right? Like, it's probably the only thing she
Right.
hates more than her family. So Oz put her in the worst place possible. Killing her, she's just dead, and it's over with. But if she's in Arkham, she's got to suffer. So I get it. It's basically the same
Yeah.
thing he did with his mother.
Yeah. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And
He didn't
how
kill her either. She's suffering it out, looking out the window, watching him rule the city. It's kind of against what she wanted.
I know. So that the whole way
Did
the
you just
season
squawk
ended.
like the penguin there?
Not intentionally.
Okay.
Not intentionally. But the whole way that the season ended, or that right now the series ended, um, with the flashbacks and him, you know, seeing that he's the one who killed his brothers, and how that relationship with his mother formed, and then um the eventual downfall, like the stuff that happened with his mother, and how Sophia tries to manipulate that angle, and then how that whole thing unfolded. And then finally it leaves him off where, God, what's her name? What's the girlfriend's name? Why do I always
Eve.
forget her name? Yeah, where Eve, the show ends with him dancing with Eve, and who's dressed like his mother.
Yeah, some Oedipus shit, man.
Right? Like that was well done, I think, for us to now know exactly who he is at this point. I think the writing on the show has gotten a lot. Some people have given it a lot of flack. I personally think that that part of it, that part of the narrative, was done so well, and where it's leaving him now, and where we're seeing this character from where we began, we have a better understanding of him. And Colin Farrell even says, like, now I feel I know him like better than anybody. Um, so what did you think of his overall arc on the season, where we saw him from the beginning and where it ended up?
I mean, I loved it. It was kind of, that's the only thing that I think I kind of expected, was watching his rise to power, right? Him go from essentially being, in the show, is basically watch him go from driver to kingpin. It was fascinating to watch. But Sophia really stole the event. Really, it was her. It's her arc, leaving Arkham, taking control, and then going back to Arkham. Like, that was really interesting because that came out of nowhere for me. There's a lot of this show that came out of nowhere for me. I did not expect them to dig into Penguin's past like they used to.
Right.
I didn't see a lot of the stuff with his mom. Like, that stuff was all crazy. They really went places I had no idea. Like, I expected him to be a ruthless murderer, but like, to kill your brothers, just let them drown too. Not even like, they suffered, like, and they probably were, who knows? They probably died before they drowned from, like, I don't know, pneumonia or hypothermia, or just
Right.
it probably wasn't a good death. And then you're
And
probably,
how
just,
and how they crafted that part too, where he's, we see where the inspiration for the top hat came, right? And
yeah.
then you see him laying on the couch with his mother, and he keeps like flat looking back at the window, like you
I
see
hope
like
Kowalski was paying
like the
attention to
rain.
all this.
I mean, so well done, and shout out to that little kid, man. He did a fantastic job as
He was
well.
wonderful.
In the show, it was just such a well done show, and I think as someone, you were one of the people who were really looking forward to it. So did you get everything you wanted out of it?
Yeah, I mean, it totally met and exceeded expectations.
Yeah.
It's great. It really is. Modern Penguin. It's something wonderful. It really is.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward now to what happens with the character. Colin Farrell did say, they interviewed him as well, and he did say he would do a second season. I know everyone
Because he's
remembers
gonna
the
get paid.
I know, yes, and I know everyone
That
remembers where
salary
he
just
said,
doubled.
you know, having to wear that costume, like everyone was keep pointing back, oh, he complained about having to wear all that makeup and stuff. I
You know when
mean,
he didn't complain? On payday.
yeah, and I'm sure the critical acclaim as well does not hurt him from that perspective. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like we're going to get something more with the character as time goes on. We know we're getting in the second film, but post that, doesn't feel like he's going to eat it in, in the Batman Part Two. Uh, they also did ask Matt Reeves about the Sophia character,
Mm-hmm.
if she appears in the Batman 2, and he says he doesn't want to touch that right now.
I wish these
So
journalists would stop asking dumb questions. Like, don't spoil the movie. Shut up, and just ask them how the script's going.
yeah, I mean that's probably the most basic way to do it. But of course they have to ask, right? The journalists have to ask these questions because they know that's what people are wondering as well. Not just them, but we're all wondering that.
I want to know who the
Um,
villain is. That's what I want to know.
yeah,
What's Batman doing? What's the whole point of this movie? Let's go.
yeah.
I'm ready.
I don't
I'm
know.
I'm so pumped for the Batman too. It's not even funny.
I feel like Hush is too easy a leap to make at this point.
I don't know. That's the best part is he's kind of got me to the point where I don't know. Like, oh, what are you doing? Like, it's not.
Right.
It's just,
That's what I mean. Like, I don't think it's going to be Hush because I think that's way too easy a leap for people to make, in my opinion. Um, so
I hope it's Hush. That would drive Bill crazy. That would be great.
well, like you said, they plant the seeds for it in the first film. They definitely do plant that seed there. So
I'm definitely not as hyped on the Court of Owls as everybody else is. Everyone's really pumped about that. I like Scott Snyder. I don't love his stuff. That's the best of his stuff. So
I think I like that storyline, and I think you could do it where they're there, but they're not the main villain.
You know, but they have been playing. Everyone's like, look at these curtains. They look like owls.
I know.
The Riddler gave Batman an owl card.
Yep. It's true. There's a lot of hints.
There's owls everywhere. Maybe Matt Reeves just like owls. I don't know.
It's possible.
He could be.
He'll
be a big fan of owls. He likes Owlsley and Daredevil.
Yeah. So apparently the events of Penguin are also, obviously, as we know, it's kind of the bridge show. So Reeves apparently has said that some of the things that happened in the show have kind of changed where he originally thought he was going. So I wish we would get a little bit more news. I know there have been people talking now that the Batman 2 might be delayed again.
Why?
Why?
Why is it going to be delayed?
Just because everything that's coming out is like they feel like there's no progress being made. So I feel like people are just going there.
Oh, really? I haven't heard any of that. Okay.
Yeah. So people are saying it might get delayed to 2027, I think.
What? Really?
That's what people are saying. I
was like, people were like, Nolan stole Batman from Reeves because he's mad at Warner Brothers. I saw a couple of those. I did a show with Bill, and then my algorithm kicked in.
Seriously?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's weird. They're listening. They're listening.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I feel like the Penguin just ups the show just ups the ante for the Batman Part 2 now. Like the movie was great, was very, very good to great. The show was great. So now the stakes just keep getting higher. But I fully expect it to be fantastic. So whatever direction they go, I fully trust this team going forward with whatever they decide to do. So
I'm down.
There's a lot in the Reeves article and the Reeves interview. So if you guys want to check it out, check it out. I'm sure you probably have, and let us know what you think. He talks about the Rogues Gallery, where they might go with the next villain. But they do explicitly say that the Penguin is not the villain. So
no, he's just there.
Yeah,
he's Batman's like ears in the ground, you know.
Yeah, definitely does appear that way. So. All right, so guess what, Batman fans? You too can own a Batmobile. Who doesn't want that? I mean, I would love to own the Batmobile. They are selling limited edition model versions of the Tumbler.
That's crazy.
Right? And for a cool $3 million.
That's even crazier.
You could have one. It's by invitation only, apparently. But I mean,
do you think it really costs $3 million to make that car, or does it just because there's no way it's like, you know, military grade?
Right. Like, I don't think, obviously it's being sold as like a model version of it. So I don't think it would do the things that we saw it do.
Oh, it doesn't even function?
So, no, it has it's a car.
Okay. So you could drive it.
Yeah, but I don't think we can hop over.
No. I just wanted to just, you know, go forward, go in reverse, make left turns.
Imitation gun turrets on it.
Does it have a blinker?
I would assume so. I would assume it does have a blinker.
I would buy this car for like, I don't know, $90,000.
I can't believe that's the price. I mean, that is
Primo's
a
expensive.
lot of money.
I imagine. So who's going to buy this? Like Doug Flutie. He's got two Batmobiles, so I assume Doug Flutie. I think Jay Leno has one, so I'm just thinking like people who already own Batmobiles, Doug Flutie and Jay Leno.
I used to see the 66 car, like they're around on Long Island, like people had that one.
Mm.
And they would be driving it around and stuff. But yeah, I mean, this apparently there's only 10. There's only going to be 10 of them made.
Made.
So,
man, I wonder if it'd be cool if they were street legal. It'd be great. Tumbler's a big automobile.
yes, quite large. It's a
I don't
tank.
think you could drive the Tumbler on the turnpike. I don't think it would get through the toll booth.
No, you probably would need the truck lane. Maybe might have to go in the truck lane for that.
Trucks are long; they're not wide.
That's true.
You know,
that's a good point.
I don't know,
but oh man, that would be so cool. I honestly, when they first went with the Tumbler, it was a weird jolt for me because I was totally not expecting it. But now it's become such an awesome part of Batman's history.
I love the Tumbler.
Yeah, I love it too now. Yeah.
That was one of the best parts about Begins is like the Batmobile was so different.
Yes.
I was like, whoa, what is this?
Yes. That's it, right? Like it was a jarring thing. You're like, wow, that's an interesting.
Because the first thing, you know, back in the day, the first thing we ever saw in BOF for the Batmobile was just, it was covered in a tarp and the rear tires were exposed. And you're like, those are really big tires. What is he doing?
So yeah, man, it'd be awesome to own. It is Christmas season, folks. So if you're looking for a gift for me, perfect. There you go. Thank you. I would really appreciate
those those Lexus commercials. A sale to remember. Shop Lexus this holiday season.
That is a good one. Yes. Oh, yep. All those damn commercials are starting up now again. Oh, ho ho ho. Anyway,
I love me some hoes.
Let's keep it moving, but let's stick in DC. We all knew, we all heard, at least recently, that they were going to continue the Blue Beetle character from the movie in animated series, and Zolo Maraduena recently spoke about it, and he says he thinks it's an honor to get to continue the story of Jaime Reyes. There's only one Blue Beetle. He says very early, but he says it's going to be the craziest anime. Now, I didn't know it was an anime version. Did you? Did they say that?
No, but I guess that makes sense because that beetle, the Scarab, can do some pretty wacky things, and anime gets pretty crazy.
That's true. So I will contend and still contend that if Blue Beetle came out before all the madness, it would have been much better reviewed, a much better received film. I like the character. I think the fact that they're keeping, this is one of the properties that they are keeping moving forward. I think it's a great thing. What's your anticipation for this though? Are you?
It's not really that high. I thought the movie was decent enough. I thought the villain was really whack.
Yeah.
Susan Sarandon was drunk half the time.
She was terrible. Yes.
Yeah, so the movie's okay. It's not the worst thing. It had potential. I could see why they want to keep this around in animation. I don't know if we'll ever get more live action stuff, but I mean, you like this kid a lot. He was in that fighting show you like a lot. I forget what
he's in Cobra Kai.
Yeah, that thing.
Which I don't like a lot anymore. But
well, originally the early years, you were a big fan of the early seasons, I guess.
Well, he stood out.
Yeah, that's okay. Then you like whatever. I knew there was positivity somewhere there.
Yes.
But yeah, to be honest, like it's cool. I don't know how I'm going to check this out. I still got to catch up on Superman and Lois. You know, like I'm far behind. But it's cool. I'm glad. I was kind of hoping I'd see more George Lopez. That's kind of what I got out of this. I love George Lopez, so
it doesn't say if he's going to be in the voice cast, but maybe he will.
I don't know. That's all I'm thinking about. Like, if there's ever a Blue Beetle 2, I want more George Lopez. I love George Lopez.
I do, because of how Reeves pitched the universe and how the animated actors will be their live action parts as well. I'm pretty sure we're going to see him again sometime in live action. I don't know about the entire cast, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see Blue Beetle and Jaime Reyes.
I don't know. We'll see.
So, yeah, but I'm interested to see where this goes. Again, I'm not a huge fan of anime style animation or things like that, but
is this like a Max thing, or is this going to be on like Cartoon Network? Does it say?
It does not say. But again, they've maintained from the beginning that this character was going to be a part of this new phase of DC. So
we'll see.
We will see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see how this goes going forward. Sticking in more DC news, I like the way you put this in the rundown. Yes, James Bond apparently will be joining DC Studios. I'm really talking about Daniel Craig. Uh, he apparently is in discussions to be Sergeant Rock with Luca Guadagnino. I can't say his last
There
name.
you go, Luca.
Um, he's the director for Challengers and I forget the other film he did that won awards. But
It
yes,
wasn't BVS, was it? He didn't know.
it was not. No,
No,
it was
because
not.
that won tons of awards.
Yeah. So he's going to be directing Sergeant Rock, and Daniel Craig apparently is in talks to star as the lead character, which was a little bit of a surprise news. I did not expect.
Yeah, I think this is good for the brand. I personally don't really care. I'm not a Sergeant Rock fan. I can't say that I've really read any of his stuff, so like totally indifferent on this. But people like Daniel Craig, he's a big name. If this is the name, if this is the project that he wants to associate himself with, that's cool. I kind of wish it was something different personally, but what are you going to do? Again, if it's good, if the brand needs all the help it can get. So if this is really good for the brand, then I'm all for it.
Yeah. This is not a character I was familiar with. Apparently, he first appeared in 1959. World War II soldier. It seems more along the lines of something that an actor like Craig would want to do. So I'm not surprised that that's the way that this is the property he's being attached to, or they're looking for him to be a part of. Also, it does seem like something that Luca. Sorry, I always butcher his last name, like I said. So, something like a project that he would do. But the fact that it's in his hands, he's a really good director. I'm definitely looking forward to now and see what they're gonna do with it. So, yeah, this was news I was not expecting to get. So very very
Daniel
cool.
Craig is the DCU Batman.
Oh wow. Wouldn't that be quite the story?
It would be.
And quite the quite the controversial topic if that happened. Oh geez. Anyway. All right, let's switch houses for a second because we have more news about the project that I think we talked about this on the last show a little bit, but about the project that will never doesn't feel like will ever get made. Um So I think on the last show we said that Blade had been shelved again
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
indefinitely now, and Kevin Feige wanted to speak about it, so he did, and he says this: "We are committed to Blade. We love the character. We love Mahershala's version of him, and rest assured, whenever we change direction with the project or are still trying to figure out how it fits into our schedule, we let the public know.
What's
You're
the
up to date.
plan, Feige?
It's coming. You're up to date on what's going on, but I can tell you that the character will be coming to the MCU." So it's nice
Sure.
that they have, yeah, right. Like
Word
it's nice
salad.
that exactly that Feige didn't say, "Oh yeah, we're done with it." But this isn't the first time we've heard, "Yeah, we're going forward with it," and then it never happens. So really, it's to me, it's much ado about nothing. I will believe it when we finally have something concrete to go on. So
It's
that's where
I
I'm.
don't know how hard it is really to make a vampire hunter movie. I don't know what, like, can they just not shove this in their stupid plan with all the rest of their bullshit? Like, I'm being honest. Like,
Clearly, since
how
they've
can you
made,
not make a vampire hunter movie? It's
yeah,
simple. They made one about Abe Lincoln, for Christ's sake.
it's true. And I actually, that's one of my guilty pleasure films. Actually,
Really? Like, I've
actually
never seen it. I want to because it's so interesting. I'm like, what?
yeah,
Abe Lincoln, vampire hunter?
yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know. Like it should write itself. Like, are you just trying to like? Well, what if Blade comes across Thanos? Like, who cares? Just make a Blade movie.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Serious.
Yeah, I don't know why, like you said, why is
Does he
there
need
so
to hold an Infinity Stone somewhere? Like, is that what they're trying to figure out? What's going on here?
where do they want? That's the problem now because you start thinking like, as we know, Feige is the mastermind, right? So they have to kind of play in his sandbox. So where does he want to go with this character that these directors are having so many problems crafting a story for?
I don't know.
That's really what it boils down to. He also spoke about the return of Wanda's possible return as Scarlet Witch. It doesn't sound like he says there's, Elizabeth Olsen did say she'd be willing to come back if there was a cool way to use her. And Feige kind of dances around it, but it sounds like there are plans for her to return as well. I like the character, so I think it'd be cool to see her to come back.
She'll probably come back as some villain, right?
Well, she was in the last time we saw her. She
Yeah,
was
but
a villain.
no, well, she was actually, but she was a hero for so long. It felt like.
Yeah, she was. So, and then they had quite more questions about what Avengers we might see going forward. Specifically, questions around surrounding Miles Morales in live action. Um, so he did mention obviously that as we know, he's going to be in the third Spider Verse, but he did say, "I hope that shortly after that he can enter the MCU in live action." So, piecing that together, what we know about Spider Man
Mm-hmm.
4.
And there's so many rumors about Spider-Man 4 that I refuse to believe. Like, there's just a lot of shit out there.
Right. So kind of cool. I think everyone kind of knew this was coming. Eventually, Miles would probably come in. So we'll see how that goes. But he doesn't really mention anything else about specific characters that would be in the new Avengers that would be there. Obviously, we know there's a new Captain America. I have to assume he's going to be in it.
Well, I mean, what is their roster? Right now, it's Black Panther. You've got fake Iron Man and Ironheart, right? You've got they haven't
the
replaced. It
Fantastic
was
Four
sure he's
have the
Black Panther,
Fantastic
so you have a
Four.
Black Panther. You got She-Hulk, right? I'll just go by active characters. You have Doctor Strange,
Still have Thor,
Spider-Man, Thor. So they got Captain Marvel's. She's still around.
Yeah, she's still around.
Eric's a big fan. I'm trying to
All of
think
them
who else.
are.
Hulk
Ms.
is
Marvel.
right.
Huh?
Yeah. So maybe new Avengers. I don't know. I don't really. This is a Paul Herman question. I'm not well versed on the branches of the Avengers outside of the obvious comic book titles.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. There's been talk about them doing the Young Avengers eventually, so maybe that's what they're gonna. We're gonna get
Yeah.
Ironheart and Ms. Marvel and Bishop and all of those characters.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm still a
Hey,
bummer because
sorry.
Captain America, not just Captain America, but Steve Rogers around. He's one of my favorites. I hope Chris Evans makes an old man appearance, at least as Old Man Cap in Cap 4.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
The Wilson Rogers dynamic was always fun for me, and I wish I got more of it. To be honest with you, so I'll take a little bit of that if I can get some.
So speaking of the MCU properties, we did get another trailer for Thunderbolts. I personally like this, and I'm looking forward to this.
I think it looks very good. I love what Harbor's bringing to the table, but I cannot lie to you. This just feels very Suicide Squad to me. I'm sure it'll be good,
Totally does.
but like I
Totally
just can't get now. It's like this is the same thing. Elaine is Waller.
Yeah,
right.
you're right.
And by the way, she looks fantastic. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is gorgeous. That woman does not age. Oh, the things I do to her would make me a Holzman.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It definitely has a Suicide Squad feel to it. This is the one time I think we're gonna be like, DC did something first, something like this, and it kind of has that. So it definitely has that same type of feel to it. Like you said, Harbor as the Red Guardian again.
He's really just stealing all these trailers, man. He's hilarious.
Yep. Florence Pugh obviously is the new Black Widow.
She looks good too.
Right? Like the cast,
Haynes.
Everything around it looks entertaining. I'll say that. This movie definitely looks very entertaining. Seeing Bucky back and the building of the team and how this whole thing is going to play out. But it definitely has the star power. I think it's going to be good if people give it a chance. That's what I feel about a lot of comic book movies going forward. People have to give them a chance. So we'll see how it goes, but I am looking forward to this. I'm also, and I tweeted this yesterday because I saw the trailer for, on the big screen again for Craven while I went to see Gladiator II. And, that movie honestly looks pretty badass.
Yeah.
What if I just put this out there. What if it's good? What are we going to do then? What do you, you can't kill the Sony, the Sony, the Sony, the SSV.
Eric, if it's good or bad, it doesn't matter because another one's coming. Whether it's
That's true.
Electro or Vulture or Shocker or a Doctor Octopus standalone, whatever it is, it's coming because they're not going to let go of the right. They'll just make another one. It
That's
doesn't matter.
true.
Honestly, they must be so carefree because it's like, well, if it sucks and we're done. Or if it kicks ass, we milk it for 3 movies like Venom and then we find something.
I know. And it's so I keep going back to the first trailer we got before they did the pushed it back and they changed like it's still crazy to me how so different they were. They are.
I haven't watched the first trailer in a while, so maybe I'll have to go back and look, but I do want to see. I feel more inclined to see this than I still haven't seen the third Venom movie. I'm just like, oh, this is gonna suck so much.
I did see it and it didn't I mean, it was okay.
It was as good as 2.
It was better than 2.
I don't know, that's
It
improvement.
was better than 2 in my opinion. Um and the best parts of it though are still the relationship between the symbiote and Eddie.
I'm
Like
sure.
that's still the best part of the movie. But it was a good send off. It ends very in a nice area, a nice place. So there is an end credit scene, but yeah. So they do set something up that'll probably never happen. But go you because you watched the first, you should at least see this one and give it a shot.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to at some point. I feel like this is one I'm waiting for HBO.
Not bad. Not a bad thing to do either. It'll probably be on demand soon anyway.
Yeah.
So
How was
probably
Gladiator?
can get.
I saw your tweet, so I figured I'd ask.
Yeah, I did not like it. Um, I think I said it was ridiculous on top of absurd, and I still stick with that. Um, I mean, I don't want to. It's the opening weekend for it, so I don't want to say too much. But um, I'll just say this: it should not have been called Gladiator II. Sorry, not that. If it was not called Gladiator II, it would have been more appropriate. Um, because the Rome we get in the first film is not the Rome we have in this one. So I'll just put it out there like that. Denzel's fantastic, though. Again, if you're a fan of Denzel Washington's work, that is the one reason to go see this movie. He's great, great in the movie. Quinn's pretty good. Mezcal's kind of just there though, and he's leading the movie, so that's another issue with it. But if you like these types of films, go give it a shot. I'll say, but
Right.
it didn't work for me. Didn't work for me. So that is it. Um, moving right along. Speaking of Denzel Washington, since I just brought him up, uh, apparently Ryan Coogler is going to be writing a role for him in Black Panther 3 whenever that comes out. So I don't know who he'll be playing. Obviously, Denzel is in his 60s now, I believe, late 60s even. Um, so he did say, I played Othello at 22, and now I'm going to play it at 70 when he did that. He says, after that, I'm playing Hannibal. After that, I've been talking with Steve McQueen about a film. After that, Ryan Coogler is writing a part for me in the next Black Panther. So I don't know who he's going to be, but
All right,
hell,
there
it's
you
Denzel,
go. That's
right?
it. Movie hasn't been written, but Denzel's in it.
Which automatically is going to bring people to see it. So mission accomplished. But definitely go. Like I said, if you're going to see Gladiator 2, he's the reason to go see it. So I'll put it in there. But yeah, Black Panther 3. There we go.
Yeah, I'm like kind of. We'll see what they do. I didn't like the second one,
All right.
so we'll see.
I liked it. I
It was
just
okay.
didn't love it. Yeah.
It just, I don't know. I felt like I was watching a funeral procession. It just
You
was
were.
very sad. I just didn't like it.
You were. You were watching what
You
they
know,
could do as a funeral. Yes, you were. Um,
so
so Pete always posts stuff about Star Wars as Eric stuff. So this would be technically be Eric stuff.
oh yeah, there you go.
A lot of uncertainty going on in Star Wars world right now. The Simon Kinberg picture deal was kind of weird. I even tweeted that as a writer, I'm fine with it. Just don't let him direct anything. Let's see what he can do as a writer. Uh, the Ray film apparently now that might be what he's writing. We'd have no idea. But a lot of uncertainty in Star Wars world. I am cautiously optimistic about what's going on with the franchise. Obviously, we have the Mandalorian and Grogu film coming out. We have a season 2 of Andor, which is coming. Skeleton Crew starts, I believe, in 2 weeks. So there is plenty of material. Star Wars Visions just got announced for, I think, a 3rd season because I don't really like that show, but they're making stuff. I just feel like Star Wars is in a very weird place. Some people say, "Oh, the brand is dead." The brand is not dead. That's such a ridiculously silly comment to make. But it is in a weird place. I'll say that. And I feel like the return to film has to happen because that's where Star Wars lives and breathes and kind of has always been in that space. I do love the Disney Plus stuff, but Pete, any Star Wars, I know you're not a fan, but a huge fan, but any project that you know about coming up that you're like, "Oh, that's interesting. I would watch that."
None at all.
None?
No.
Not even the Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron film that be made eventually.
I'll watch the behind the scenes stuff so I can look at Patty, but that's as much as my interest. Like I'll check out the special features, but that's about as much interest as I have. Yeah, I got no interest. If I want to watch space stuff, I'm more interested in what's going on with these Green Lantern shows.
Fair. I mean, that's definitely something that is more.
Yeah, Star Wars wise, if they're making a movie, I'll probably watch the trailer. That's about it, though.
Okay.
You think Rick's watching any of this stuff? Is Rick watching any of this stuff?
Rick's watching all of it.
Oh, is he loving it?
I feel like he he loves a lot of it more than I do. I'll say that.
Really? Because I feel like you like a lot of things. Well, you're always very positive in a negative place. That is Star Wars Twitter.
I mean, I think for some people, they're a little heavy-handed in the criticism, and I don't feel like it's always fair or warranted. But I do think that, like, if something sucks, it sucks. Like, I'm just going to be honest. If it doesn't work for me,
episode 3.
Say it sucks. Yeah, like a lot of people love that movie. Episode 3, and they think it's fantastic.
All I ever hear is people trash it. People love that movie.
People trash more episode 2 and episode 1 than 3.
Oh, is episode 2 the one with sand?
Yes, that's episode 2.
That's the one I'm thinking of. I'm sorry then. Okay, yeah. Episode 2.
Yeah, that movie's terrible. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I'm not a fan. Weird though, I'll watch it from time to time. But it's the weakest of all the Star Wars films, in my opinion, is episode 2. So there you go. But I'm optimistic about what their direction they're going. I just can't really say much because I don't have any kind of idea of what they're doing. I think Rey is a very strong character. I think there's a lot more stories to be told with her. I think Daisy Ridley is a very good actress. She plays the part very well. So I think there's stories there to go forward. But until I know a little bit more about what's going on, it's hard for me to get excited or upset. Or I do know what's coming with Andor, and I loved season 1 of Andor, so I'm looking forward to season 2. I've mentioned Skeleton Crew is coming out. It's not something that I don't think it's geared towards me, but I'll watch it. It's more of a kid's show.
What about a Star Wars Uxas crossover?
They're in space, so it
could
work.
Right? Uxas maybe could be the new Darth Vader. Just saying.
Could work.
Darth Uxas.
Could work. I mean, 2 different companies own them. So might be a little difficult to get through the red tape. But hey, I'm always down I love interesting things like that. Like I said, if we ever get like a DC versus Marvel thing, I'm in. I want to see
if Zack Snyder directed it, I'd be totally in for Uxas versus Skywalker.
It's got to be a Zack Snyder production.
Yes.
He can call it Rebel Sun. instead of Rebel Moon.
It could be, yeah. That's it. It's all connected. On the other side of the universe is where Rebel Moon takes place, and where nobody knows about it. It's like a hidden pocket universe.
No,
And
it's
then Han Solo takes the Millennium
space
Falcon
vagina.
and light speed crosses over through time, and he ends up with Rebel Moon and the Anthony Hopkins robot instead of C-3PO, and it's all confused.
You mean the space vagina? Because that's what that was.
I forgot about that. Space pussy. The one frontier all Holzman hasn't claimed. Well, look out, Neil Armstrong. He's coming for your favorite Martian. Oh my God, Space Badge. I forgot all about that.
And the Snyder acolytes will tell you, oh, you just don't get it. Yeah, I don't get that there's a vagina in the middle of space and what that means. Right.
Oh man. You know, Twitter has been so pleasant the past. Like everyone complains about Twitter and everything and how much of a cesspool it is. I think it's been the quietest and most humble it's ever been. You know, the zaddies have left.
I guess it depends what you're reading.
The political weirdos have all left. Like it's really wonderful. I've really enjoyed Twitter the past few months.
I just use it for what I need to use it for. Like I don't
get where it's like a cesspool. I don't see that.
Yeah.
I haven't had a bad interaction on Twitter since the Snyder Cut came out. Like honestly, since Justice is Gray, everything's been wonderful. Just timeline wise.
Yeah. I mean, I mostly use it to discuss sports now and this stuff. And
I can't remember the last time I had an argument with somebody over something stupid.
I can't either, to be honest. I can't.
Unless I look for like, you know, Daddy Bats and I'm trolling him about 89. That's about the most trouble I get myself into on Twitter these days.
Oh, happy birthday to Nico. Today is his birthday. We're recording on his birthday.
Oh, that's right. Yesterday was Lauer's birthday, so happy birthday to the
Yes,
Illinois
happy birthday
boys.
to Ryan Lauer as well. Yes. Two fantastic young gentlemen. So
let's not go that far.
Happy birthday, guys. You know, hopefully we get to work on something soon. I get to work on you with something soon.
There you go. Holzman.
Yeah. So, because you still work with him on the Batman.
Every once in a while, he graces his presence. Either one of them. When they're not getting it in. They're busy men. They're getting it in.
That's true. And good for them.
Yeah, damn right.
The world is a lot happier place when people get it in. So
I've been saying that for years. That's why I think San Fernando Valley is the happiest place in the world. Everybody getting it in. Kowalski knows. He knows all about that place.
Oh, yes.
He runs the ministry out there.
Especially Kowalski.
Yeah. Oh, he's all about that place. He loves San Fernando Valley. He loves the valley.
Well, I love you guys and I love this show, but it's time to put a bow on this one. So,
and he loves Aunt Trudy,
whoever that is,
and Sally Testenberger. You can find me socially at Pete Illustrated, Straight Outta Gotham, straight_O_G, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Spidey Coalition, BatmanOnFilm.com, and Brian Lauer's The Batman Book Club. That's Brian with a B.
Yes. Name change all the time. You guys can find me, Twitter, still at Finally33. I'm also on Blue Sky. If you guys are going over to Blue Sky, I'm over there as well. Same handle.
What's that handle?
Same thing. Finally.
Yeah, but doesn't it come like, isn't it like eric.holzman.bluesky.net.social?
Yes, it does have a stroke, but you could just search for the name.
Okay, I don't know how it works. I'm not on
it. So I am over there as well for the people who are going over there. I'm on Threads as well, same handle. You guys are hopping over to those places. You can find me
you're on
there.
Threads, huh?
I'm on Threads as well.
Oh, he's on Threads.
I am there. Again, all nicked up every Wednesday night, live stream, 6:30, 7 p.m. Eastern time, YouTube, Facebook, where's the other? Oh, and X as well. Check us out over there.
No Blue Sky for all nicked up?
Not yet. I haven't gone to Blue Sky yet. And I don't know if you can broadcast on Blue Sky yet. I don't think they have that set up, but I haven't really explored it. So
that's why we got Elon, baby.
So yeah, it's true. That's the one benefit. One of the benefits, because I still think X is fine, but that's just me.
Yeah, whatever.
I know. So yeah, check us out again, fans of New York Knicks or just fan of basketball in general. Come check us out every Wednesday night.
When are you guys gonna have Knicks City Dancers on the show?
I wish that would be cool. You work at the Garden, hook that up. Who could I speak to?
Imagine someone who works for the Knicks City Dancers. It's got to be on the website.
So, yeah, I mean, I've been trying to get someone to interview.
For Leon Rose is a tough get.
So, yeah, please don't even get me started on that. That is the one thing about this new regime that I freaking can't stand.
Leon Rose?
No, that they don't speak to the media.
But it's all in
these controlled.
Really? You should talk to Ranger fans. When was the last time Glenn spoke? Glenn never spoke.
I don't know. I think I don't understand their whole hush hush policy, but it's whatever. It's fine. I just feel like if you are the head of the team or your fans spend all this money, the least you can do is at least once or twice a year have a real press conference. But that's me. So, all right. Yes, that's it. We're done. I promise no more ranting.
Ookses.
I'll be quiet. So for Pete, I'm Eric. You're listening to Straight Outta Gotham. See you next time.
Booyah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Booyah.
Soundstripe. Have faith.